Alicia Brooks stares at the pair of gloves on her keyboard. Simple black fabric. No note, no ribbon. Just there, folded carefully, waiting, like someone knew exactly where she'd be at 5:45 a.m. Her breath catches. She picks them up, turns them over in her hands. They weigh nothing. And somehow, they weigh everything. Around her, the warehouse is still waking, flickering fluorescent lights, the industrial hum of heating vents fighting a losing battle against January cold. Mrs. Kim types something in the back office. A delivery truck beeps in reverse outside. Normal sounds. Safe sounds. But Alicia's heart is pounding like she's been caught stealing. She looks across the sorting area. Jun-ho is stacking boxes near the far wall, methodical, quiet. His shoulders slightly hunched the way they always are. He doesn't look at her. Doesn't wave. Doesn't acknowledge her existence at all. Which means he knows exactly what he did. Yesterday, her hands were purple. She'd blown warm air on them between customers, hidden them under her armpits when no one was looking, typed with fingers so numb she had to check every entry twice. And she thought, she was certain, no one had noticed. But someone had. Someone had seen what she spent years making sure no one ever saw. That she was cold. That she was struggling. That she needed help. The gloves sit in her palm like an accusation. If you've ever tried so hard to be strong that you forgot how to let someone care, subscribe. Because this story is about what happens when someone sees through every wall you built and refuses to look away. Alicia doesn't put the gloves on. Not during the first rush of morning customers. Not when her fingers cramp around the pen signing delivery slips. Not when the thermal printer jams and she has to dig into its cold metal guts to fix it. She leaves them on the corner of her desk, visible, untouched, accusing. Mrs. Kim passes by around 7, coffee mug in hand. Those new? Someone left them, Alicia says carefully. Mrs. Kim's eyes flicker across the warehouse to where Jun-ho is wrapping fragile items in bubble wrap. Her expression doesn't change, but something in her posture softens. Kind of them, I guess. You should wear them. Your hands were purple yesterday. Alicia's stomach drops. You noticed? I notice everything. Mrs. Kim taps her clipboard. It's my job. She walks away before Alicia can respond, leaving only the faint scent of hazelnut coffee and the distinct impression that everyone saw what she thought she'd hidden. By 8:30, Alicia's hands are shaking. Not from cold this time, from something else. Something like rage mixed with gratitude mixed with fear. She snatches the gloves, walks across the warehouse floor with deliberate steps, and stops in front of Jun-ho's workstation. He's labeling a box, doesn't look up. I can't accept these, she says. He finishes writing the address, sets down the marker, finally meets her eyes. Okay, he says. That's it. Just okay. No argument, no hurt feelings, no explanation. She holds the gloves out. He doesn't take them. I mean it, she says, voice harder now. I know. His tone is even, almost gentle. You don't need anything. You're fine. It should sound sarcastic. It doesn't. It sounds like he sees her, really sees her, and that's worse than anything. Then why? Your break's in 10 minutes, he interrupts, nodding toward the schedule board. Mrs. Kim just changed it. Mine too. He picks up another box and walks toward the loading dock, leaving Alicia standing there with gloves in hand and no idea what just happened. She tries to return them 3 more times that day. He's never where she expects him to be. The next morning, there's coffee on her desk. Not the burnt sludge from the communal pot. Real coffee, from the decent place 2 blocks away that she only goes to on payday. Still hot. Black, 1 sugar. Exactly how she takes it. Alicia's jaw clenches. She doesn't drink it. She leaves it there, condensation forming on the paper cup, while she processes the morning rush. A woman arguing about a damaged shipment. A man who insists his package should have arrived 3 days ago, even though tracking shows it's still in transit. An elderly couple trying to mail their grandson's birthday present and asking 17 questions about tape strength. By the time they leave, the coffee is lukewarm. She drinks it anyway. Because wasting $7 would be stupid, and she's not stupid. Junho is sorting international packages when she approaches during her break. "Stop," she says. He looks at her. Waits. "Stop doing this." "Doing what?" "You know what." A pause. Then, "The coffee was bad yesterday. I was getting some anyway." "I didn't ask you to." "I know." "Then why?" "Because you were here at 5:30 again." His voice is quiet, but firm. "You're always here early. You shouldn't have to drink bad coffee just because you're trying to make extra hours." The observation hits her like cold water. He noticed her schedule. He noticed her routine. He noticed she's been picking up every extra shift Mrs. Kim offers. "That's none of your business," she says. "I know," he repeats. And then softer. "I'm not asking it to be." He goes back to sorting. Conversation over. Alicia walks away, heart pounding, hands shoved deep in her pockets where she's been keeping the gloves she still hasn't returned, because every time she tries, he makes it impossible. Carlos, the veteran delivery driver, leans against a stack of pallets watching the whole exchange. When Alicia passes, he mutters just loud enough for her to hear, "That boy's got it bad." "He's just polite," Alicia snaps. Carlos grins. "Sweetheart, I've been married 3 times. I know the difference between polite and paying attention." He tips his cap. "Question is, what are you going to do about it?" She doesn't answer, because she doesn't have one. Nah. Junho's shoulder has been bothering him for weeks. Alicia notices on a Wednesday during the midday lull when the warehouse is quiet enough to hear individual sounds. The scrape of box cutters, the rustle of packing paper, the small involuntary hiss Junho makes when he lifts a particularly heavy shipment. He hides it immediately, straightens, keeps working. But Alicia saw. She doesn't say anything. It's not her business. He's not her business. The gloves are still in her locker because she's not wearing them on principle, and the coffee stopped appearing after she told him to stop, which should feel like a victory, but mostly feels hollow. Thursday, he drops a box. Catches it at the last second, but his face goes white for a moment before he schools it back to neutral. Friday, Mrs. Kim assigns him to loading dock duty, the heaviest rotation. He doesn't complain. By Friday afternoon, Alicia can see him favoring his right side, rolling his shoulder when he thinks no one's looking, moving with the careful precision of someone trying not to trigger pain. It's none of her business. It's absolutely none of her business. She's processing a return when she hears the crash. The box hits the floor with a sound like breaking glass. Junho stands over it, jaw clenched, right arm hanging stiff at his side. Mrs. Kim appears instantly. "You okay?" "Fine," he says. "Just slipped." "Your shoulder?" "It's fine." It's clearly not fine. Even from across the warehouse, Alicia can see the tension in his neck, the way he's breathing too carefully. Mrs. Kim studies him for a long moment, then nods. "Take 5. Carlos can cover." "I'm good." 5 minutes, Junho. That's not a request." He nods, walks toward the break room, moving like every step costs him. Alicia's hands move before her brain catches up. She signs the return form, hands it to the customer, and walks straight to the break room. Junho is standing at the small sink, running cold water over his wrist. His eyes are closed. "You need ice," Alicia says. He opens his eyes. Doesn't look surprised to see her. "I'm fine." "You're not." She opens the ancient freezer, pulls out the ice pack they keep for emergencies. "Sit." "Alicia, sit down." He sits. She hands him the ice pack. He takes it, presses it against his shoulder with a barely suppressed wince. They don't speak for 30 seconds. A minute. The break room clock ticks loudly. "How long?" she asks finally. "What?" "How long has your shoulder been bad?" He looks at her, measuring something. Then, 2 years, maybe 3. Did you see a doctor? Couldn't afford it. And then, he trails off. And then what? My father got sick. So I definitely couldn't afford it. Got sick. Past tense. Which means he died 4 months ago, Junho says quietly, answering the question she didn't ask. Liver failure. I was his caretaker for the last year. Alicia's breath catches. I'm sorry. Me too. He adjusts the ice pack. The shoulders from lifting him, moving him, helping him to the bathroom, to bed, to anywhere. He lost a lot of weight, but he shrugs with his good shoulder. Guess I didn't notice how much it added up until it was too late. You should still see a doctor. With what insurance? He smiles, but there's no humor in it. I'm paying off his hospital bills. Physical therapy isn't exactly in the budget. Something in Alicia's chest cracks open. Because she knows. She knows exactly what he means. The calculations, the sacrifices, the way you carry weight until your body gives out because there's no other choice. You gave me gloves, she says. He blinks at the subject change. Yeah. Why? Your hands were cold. That's not an answer. He's quiet for a long moment. Then, because nobody should have to hurt alone. Not when someone can help. It's the simplest statement in the world. And it destroys her. I work doubles to pay my mother's medical bills, Alicia hears herself say. She has early onset Alzheimer's. The care facility costs more than I make, so I'm here at 5:30, and I leave at 8, every day. Because if I don't... She stops. Breathes. If I don't, she goes to a state facility. And those places... She doesn't finish. She doesn't have to. Junho nods slowly. So we're both carrying dead weight. Something like that. And we're both really bad at asking for help. Despite everything, she almost laughs. Yeah. He holds her gaze. Thank you for the ice. You gave me gloves. You didn't wear them. I kept them. That's something. It is. It really is. Alicia's phone rings during the afternoon rush. She glances at the screen, her brother Marcus, and her stomach drops. Marcus only calls during work if it's an emergency. I have to take this, she tells the customer at the counter, then walks quickly to the parking lot. What happened? Mom's facility called. Marcus sounds tired. He always sounds tired now. They're raising rates again. 15%. Starts next month. 15%. Alicia does the math automatically, uselessly. It's money they don't have. How much? Her voice is steady. Years of practice. Marcus tells her. The number sits in her chest like lead. We can't, she says quietly. We're already... I know. A pause. They said we have 2 weeks to decide. Pay the increase or move her to somewhere cheaper, somewhere worse. I'll figure something out, Alicia says. You're already working doubles. I'll pick up more shifts. You can't. I'll figure it out. Her voice cracks. She closes her eyes, breathes hard through her nose. I have to go. I'll call you tonight. She hangs up, stands in the cold parking lot trying to remember how to breathe properly. Crying would be a luxury she can't afford. So she doesn't. She just stands there, hands shaking, and counts to 30. Then she walks back inside. Junho is at his station. He glances toward the window, sees her face, and his expression shifts. He doesn't approach, just watches. Alicia goes back to her counter, smiles at the next customer, processes shipments, does her job. At the end of her shift, there's fresh coffee on her desk, and a yellow post-it note stuck to the cup. One word, written in careful Hangul, Sumsuyo. She stares at it, pulls out her phone, translates it. Breathe. Her vision blurs. She blinks hard, looks across the warehouse. Junho is leaving through the back door, jacket pulled up against the cold, moving carefully because of his shoulder. He saw her break, and he didn't ask questions. didn't offer empty comfort. Just reminded her to breathe. Alicia picks up the post-it, folds it carefully, puts it in her pocket next to the gloves she still carries everywhere even though she hasn't worn them yet. And for the first time since this whole thing started, she lets herself consider the terrifying possibility that maybe, just maybe, she doesn't have to carry everything alone. Mrs. Kim catches Alicia before her shift ends Friday evening. "Need a favor," she says. "Jennifer called in sick. Someone needs to cover inventory tonight." Inventory means staying until at least 11 p.m. It means time and a half pay. It means 4 extra hours Alicia desperately needs. "I'll do it," she says immediately. Mrs. Kim nods. Jun-ho already volunteered too. "You two can split the sections." Of course he did. The warehouse empties by 7 p.m. Cleaning crew comes and goes. By 8:30, it's just Alicia, Jun-ho, and the fluorescent lights humming overhead. They work in silence at first. Alicia counts boxed inventory in the shipping section. Jun-ho handles receiving. The only sounds are the scratch of pen on paper, the beep of the scanner, their footsteps echoing in the empty space. At 9, Alicia's stomach growls loudly enough that Jun-ho looks up from across the room. "You eat dinner?" he asks. "I'll grab something after." He disappears into the break room, returns with 2 instant ramen cups. Microwave's broken, but the coffee maker has hot water. "You keep ramen in your locker?" "I work a lot of late shifts." He hands her one. "Chicken or beef?" "I'm not." "You're not going to make it to 11 on an empty stomach. Chicken or beef?" She takes the chicken. They eat standing up, backs against the sorting tables, steam rising between them. "This is pathetic," Alicia says. "Little bit. 2 people in their 20s eating instant ramen in a warehouse at 9 p.m. Could be worse. How? Could be the shrimp flavor. That one's terrible." She almost laughs. Actually, almost laughs. "You're weird. You're picky." They go back to counting inventory. But something has shifted. The silence feels different now. Comfortable, almost. At 10, Jun-ho's shoulder gives out. He's reaching for a box on a high shelf when Alicia sees it happen. The way his arm just stops mid-reach. The sharp breath. The immediate compensatory movement with his left hand. "Stop," she says. "I'm fine." "You're not." She walks over, takes the box from his hands. "How bad is it?" "I can work." "How bad, Jun-ho?" He meets her eyes. "Bad enough that I took 3 ibuprofen an hour ago and it didn't touch it. You need to see a doctor. And you need to clone yourself to cover all the shifts you're working. We both need impossible things." It's the first time she's heard frustration in his voice. The first crack in his careful composure. "Why do you stay?" she asks quietly. "What? Why do you stay late? Pick up extra shifts? You said you're paying bills, but..." She gestures at his shoulder. "You're destroying yourself. Same reason you do." His voice is soft. "Because the alternative is worse." They look at each other. 2 people breaking under weight no one else sees. "I hate this," Alicia whispers. "Me too. I hate that you see me." "I know. I hate that I can't hate you for it." Jun-ho's expression does something complicated. "You want to know why I gave you the gloves?" "Why?" "Because for 3 months, I watched you work with your hands purple from cold and pretend everything was fine. And I thought..." He stops, starts again. "I thought if one more person treats her like she's invisible, she's going to disappear." Alicia's breath catches. "And I didn't want you to disappear." He finishes quietly. The warehouse is so quiet she can hear her own heartbeat. "I'm scared," she admits. "Of this. Of you. Of needing..." "I know. You don't..." "I'm scared too." His voice is raw now. "You're the first person in 3 years I've wanted to talk to. Actually talk to. And I have no idea what I'm doing. But I know." He pauses. "I know I want to try. If you'll let me." Alicia looks at him. Really looks. sees the exhaustion in his eyes, the pain he carries, the careful way he holds himself like he's afraid of breaking. Sees someone as tired and scared and stubborn as she is. Sees someone who stayed until 11 p.m. just to make sure she didn't have to inventory alone. Slowly, carefully, she reaches into her pocket, pulls out the gloves, and puts them on. Junho's eyes widen slightly. "They fit," she says. Her voice shakes. "They fit perfectly." "Good. Thank you." "You don't have to." "Thank you," she repeats. Stronger this time. They finish inventory at 11:07 p.m., walk to the parking lot together, stand by their cars in the cold January night, breath fogging the air. "Same time Monday?" Junho asks. Alicia looks at him, at this strange, quiet man who saw her when she wanted to be invisible, who brought gloves and coffee and ramen, who stayed. "Same time Monday," she agrees. She drives home wearing the gloves. Monday morning, Carlos corners Junho during break. "So," he says, grinning, "you and Alicia." "There's no me and Alicia." "Sure there isn't." Carlos sips his coffee. "That why you worked a double Friday? And bought her coffee? And keep looking at her like she hung the moon?" Junho focuses very intently on his sandwich. "I've been married 3 times," Carlos continues. "You know what I learned? That you're bad at staying married? That love looks like attention." Carlos leans back. "First marriage, we talked constantly, fought constantly, big, passionate everything, crashed and burned. Second marriage, comfortable, easy, boring. We both checked out without noticing. Third time?" He smiles. "Third time, I learned. Love isn't the big gestures. It's remembering she takes her coffee with cream, even when you drink it black. It's picking up her prescription without being asked. It's noticing when she's tired and doing the dishes. Your point? My point is, you're in love with that girl. And she's falling for you too, even though it's scaring her to death." Junho sets down his sandwich. "It's not that simple." "It never is. She's dealing with a lot. Her mother has Alzheimer's. I know, Mrs. Kim told me." Carlos raises a hand before Junho can protest. "Relax. She didn't gossip. She's worried about Alicia burning out. We all are. That's why I'm not..." Junho stops. "I'm not trying to add pressure." "You think being there for her is pressure?" "I think she spent years building walls. I don't want to be another thing she has to manage." Carlos studies him. "You really are dense, aren't you?" "Excuse me?" "That girl wore the gloves today. First time. You notice?" Junho had noticed. He'd spent the entire morning trying not to stare at her hands. "She wore them because she's letting you in," Carlos says. Slowly, carefully, but she's trying. Question is, are you going to meet her halfway? Or are you going to hide behind being polite until she decides you're not worth the risk? "I'm not hiding. Your father died 4 months ago. You worked yourself to the bone taking care of him. Now you're working yourself to the bone paying his bills. When's the last time you did something just because it made you happy?" Junho doesn't answer. "Exactly." Carlos stands. "I'm not saying rush her. I'm saying don't waste this. Real connection is rare. And that girl is special. I know she is. Then do something about it." Carlos leaves. Junho sits there with his half-eaten sandwich, thinking about gloves and coffee and the way Alicia looked at him Friday night when she finally said thank you, thinking about being scared and trying anyway. When break ends, he catches up to Alicia at her station. "Hey," he says. She looks up. She's wearing the gloves. There's a diner 2 blocks away. Good coffee, decent food. They're open until 10. He's talking too fast. "Would you want to go? After shift sometime? Or not, if you're busy." "You're probably busy. Wednesday," Alicia interrupts. "What?" "Wednesday works. I don't have a double that night." Junho stares at her. "Really?" "Really." She's trying not to smile. But you're buying. You owe me for all those coffees I told you to stop bringing. Deal. She goes back to processing shipments. Junho walks back to his station feeling like maybe, just maybe, Carlos was right. Jury. Wednesday, 2 p.m. Alicia is explaining international shipping regulations to an increasingly frustrated customer when an older Korean man enters the warehouse. Neat suit, steel-rimmed glasses, the bearing of someone accustomed to being listened to. He walks directly to Mrs. Kim's office. Their conversation is too quiet to hear, but Alicia sees Mrs. Kim nod, gesture toward the sorting area, toward Junho. The man approaches. Junho sees him, and something in his posture changes, shoulders tightening, spine straightening, the body language of someone bracing for impact. Samkon, Junho says quietly. Uncle. They speak in rapid Korean. Alicia doesn't understand the words, but she understands tone, disappointment, pressure, the particular timbre of family obligation. She shouldn't eavesdrop. She goes back to helping the customer, but she watches. The uncle talks. Junho mostly listens, interjecting occasionally. At one point, the uncle pulls out his phone, shows Junho something, a photo maybe. Junho shakes his head. The uncle insists. Their voices rise slightly. Not yelling, but tense. Abaga dolaga sinji vargewol bakian deseo, Junho says. Alicia catches Abba, father, and the strain in his voice. The uncle responds with something that makes Junho's jaw clench. Mrs. Kim emerges from her office, intervenes with practiced diplomacy. Perhaps this conversation would be better continued elsewhere. The uncle nods. Says something to Junho, a command, not a suggestion, and leaves. Junho stands very still for a long moment. Then he goes back to sorting packages like nothing happened. But his hands are shaking. Alicia finishes with her customer, debates whether to approach, decides to. You okay? She asks quietly. Fine. His voice is flat. That was your uncle? Yeah. What did he want? Junho doesn't look at her. He wants me to meet someone. A girl from church. He thinks... He stops. Starts again. He thinks I need to move on. Get serious about my life. Stop wasting time at a warehouse job. Alicia's stomach drops. Oh. He has my whole future planned. Good Korean girl, stable job, respectable life. Junho's laugh is bitter. He means well. He's been trying to help since Dad died, but I don't want the life he's planning. What do you want? Finally, Junho looks at her. His eyes are complicated. I want to stop feeling like I owe everyone everything. I want to make choices because they're mine, not because someone thinks I should. I want... He trails off. Want what? I want Wednesday dinner with you. Alicia's breath catches. He doesn't approve. He doesn't know about you. Would it matter if he did? Junho hesitates. And in that hesitation, Alicia sees everything. The family pressure, the cultural expectations, the fact that she, black, broke, burdened with her own family crisis, probably doesn't fit the picture his uncle has drawn. Never mind, she says quietly. We should probably... It wouldn't matter. Junho's voice is fierce now. Whatever he thinks, whatever he wants, it wouldn't matter. Because he's not the one who watched you work through a double shift on no sleep. He's not the one who sees how hard you fight every day. He doesn't know you. And you do? I'm trying to. He steps closer. If you'll still let me. Alicia wants to run. Wants to say this is too complicated, too messy, too much. But she's so tired of running. Wednesday, she says instead. 7 p.m. and you're still buying. Junho exhales like he's been holding his breath. 7 p.m. The rest of the shift passes in careful normalcy. But when Alicia leaves, she sees Junho's uncle waiting in the parking lot by an expensive sedan, watching. She doesn't mention it, but she drives home with a knot in her chest, wondering if wanting something is enough when the world keeps telling you it shouldn't be. Larfer. Thursday, Alicia arrives at 5:30 a.m. and leaves the gloves folded on Junho's workstation. No note, no explanation, just the gloves. She spends her shift focused intently on her work. Doesn't look toward the sorting area. Doesn't take breaks at the same time as him. When Mrs. Kim asks if she's feeling okay, she says she's fine. She's not fine. All night, she replayed the parking lot scene. The uncle's scrutinizing gaze, the hesitation in Junho's voice. The reality that whatever this is between them exists in a warehouse, but might not survive outside it. Better to end it now, before it becomes something she needs, before it hurts worse. At lunch, Carlos sits next to her in the break room. "You're an idiot," he says conversationally. "Excuse me?" Junho's been staring at those gloves for 3 hours like someone died. "You want to tell me what happened?" "Nothing happened." "Bullshit. Yesterday you two were fine. Today you're doing the Ice Queen routine and he looks like a kicked puppy. So I repeat, what happened?" Alicia stares at her sandwich. His uncle came. He's setting Junho up with someone appropriate. And you decided to break it off before it started? There's nothing to break off. You're just two people falling in love, scared to death of admitting it. Carlos leans back. You think his uncle matters? Family always matters. Sure. But you know what matters more? Choice. He points at her. You're choosing to run because you're scared. Fine. That's human. But don't pretend it's about his uncle. It's about you not believing you deserve good things. You don't know. I know you work yourself to death for your mother. I know you haven't taken a real day off in 8 months. I know you eat instant ramen for dinner because you send every extra dollar to her care facility. His voice softens. I know you're one of the strongest people I've ever met. And I know you're terrified that if you let yourself need someone, you'll crumble. Alicia's eyes burn. What if I do? Then someone will be there to help you up. Specifically, that Korean kid who brought you gloves and hasn't stopped looking at you like you're the best thing in his life. He deserves better than what? Than someone who understands loss, who works hard, who sees him. Don't you dare finish that sentence with "than me." Alicia can't speak. He chose you, Carlos says quietly. Despite his uncle, despite whatever complicated family shit he's dealing with, he chose you. Now you get to decide if you're brave enough to choose him back. He leaves her there with her sandwich and her spiraling thoughts. At 3 p.m., the gloves reappear on Alicia's desk. Tucked inside is a note in Junho's careful handwriting. I gave these to you because your hands were cold. That hasn't changed. Neither have I. Wednesday, 7 p.m. I'll be at the diner. If you come, I'll buy dinner. If you don't, I'll understand. But I really hope you come. Alicia reads it 6 times, folds it carefully, slips it in her pocket, and doesn't return the gloves again. Wednesday, 6:45 p.m. Alicia sits in her car outside the diner, engine running, heat blasting. She should go home. Save the money. Avoid the complication. Protect herself. She puts the car in reverse. Then she sees Junho through the window. He's sitting in a booth, 2 menus in front of him, checking his watch. He looks nervous, hopeful. He looks like someone who showed up even though he was scared. Alicia turns off the engine. Inside, the diner smells like coffee and frying onions. It's half full. Couple of truckers, a family with young kids, a group of teenagers laughing too loudly. Normal people having normal dinners. Junho sees her. His face does something complicated. Relief and surprise and something warmer. You came, he says as she slides into the booth. I'm hungry. Right. Hungry. And you're buying. I remember. They order. Burgers and fries for both. Coffee for Alicia. Tea for Junho. The waitress leaves them with plastic glasses of water and knowing eyes. I'm sorry, Alicia says abruptly. About the gloves. You don't have to. I got scared. Your uncle showing up, the way he looked at you, the whole situation. She stares at her water. I thought maybe it'd be easier to end it before it really started. And now? Now I'm here eating overpriced diner food with a guy I work with who's probably making a terrible choice. Why terrible? Because I'm a mess, Junho. I work 16-hour days. I'm broke. My mom doesn't remember who I am half the time. I have a younger brother I'm helping put through community college. I have no savings, no plan, no life outside this warehouse. She finally looks at him. You could do better. Better than someone who works hard, who sacrifices for people she loves, who's strong enough to carry weight that would break most people. Better than someone who's drowning. Then we'll drown together. Alicia laughs, sharp, brittle. That's not romantic. That's stupid. Maybe. Junho leans forward. But I've spent the last 4 months doing everything alone. Watching my father die, paying bills, working through pain, being fine, always fine, because that's what you do. And I'm so tired, Alicia. So tired of pretending I don't need help, of pretending I'm okay. His voice cracks. He stops, breathes. And then I saw you, he continues quietly. And I recognized something. Someone else carrying too much and refusing to bend. Someone else determined to be strong no matter what it costs. And I thought... He pauses. I thought maybe we could be less alone together. That's still drowning. Or it's learning to swim. The food arrives. They eat in silence for a few minutes. The burger is decent. The fries are soggy. Neither of them cares. My mom called me by my grandmother's name yesterday, Alicia says suddenly. I was visiting. She looked right at me and said, "Oh, Rose, you came." Rose died in 1998. Junho waits. And I smiled. I said, "Yes, Mama, I came." Because what else do? You can't correct them. They just get confused and scared. So you play along. You become whoever they think you are. She sets down her burger. Sometimes I think I've been playing along so long I forgot who I actually am. You're Alicia Brooks. You're 27. You take your coffee black with 1 sugar. You work the early shift because the pay differential helps. You keep gloves in your locker that you didn't want to accept. You bite your lip when you're concentrating. You're kind even when you're exhausted. And you're the reason I show up to work 3 hours before my shift starts. Alicia stares at him. Why? Why what? Why show up early? Because I know you'll be there. And for 20 minutes before Mrs. Kim arrives and everything gets busy, I get to exist in the same space as you. That's worth losing sleep. He pauses. Is that weird? That might be weird. It's weird, Alicia confirms. Then, softer. But I do the same thing. Show up early, hoping you'll already be there. Really? Really? They look at each other across cheap diner coffee and processed American cheese. 2 broken people trying to figure out if they can fit their pieces together. I can't promise I'll be easy, Alicia says. I'm stubborn and proud, and I'm bad at asking for help. I can't promise I won't shut down when things get hard. I spent a year watching my father die. I'm still figuring out how to feel things again. So we're both disasters. Apparently, this is probably a terrible idea. Definitely. But you want to try anyway? Junho reaches across the table. Slowly, carefully, giving her time to pull away. She doesn't. His hand closes over hers. His palm is warm, rough with calluses. Real. I want to try, he says. Alicia's eyes burn. Me too. They finish dinner holding hands across the table. The waitress gives them free pie. Carlos was right. Love looks like attention. And Junho has been paying attention since the day he first noticed her hands were cold. Physical therapy costs $180 per session without insurance. Alicia learns this 2 weeks after their diner dinner when Junho's shoulder finally gives out completely during a shift. One moment he's lifting a box. The next he's on his knees, face white, unable to move his arm. Mrs. Kim calls an ambulance. Alicia rides with him because someone should, and she's the one who saw it happen. The ER doctor is blunt. Rotator cuff injury, severely aggravated. Needs PT minimum, possibly surgery. Can't keep working with heavy lifting. How much? Junho asks. The doctor quotes numbers that make Alicia's stomach drop. Even with payment plans, it's impossible. I'll manage, Junho says. Which means he won't get treatment. He'll ice it and take ibuprofen and destroy what's left of his shoulder permanently. Alicia waits until they're back at the warehouse parking lot at 11 p.m. You need the PT, she says. Can't afford it. Then we'll figure something out. There's nothing to figure. I have to pay my father's hospital bills. The collectors already call twice a day. If I default... He leans against his car. Looks exhausted. I can't, Alicia. I can't add more debt. I just need to be careful, work smarter. You'll permanently damage your shoulder. Then that's what happens. She wants to scream. Wants to shake him. Wants to fix everything with sheer force of will. Instead, she says, my mom's facility raised their rates, 15%. I've been picking up every double shift trying to cover it. Junho looks at her. When? 2 weeks ago. You didn't tell me. You were dealing with your uncle. I didn't want to add to it. That's not how this works. How what works? This. Us. He gestures between them. We don't hide the hard stuff. That defeats the entire point. What point? That we're not alone anymore. His voice is raw. I know it's scary. I know we're both used to handling everything ourselves. But if we're doing this, if we're actually trying, then we have to let each other in. All the way in. Not just the good parts. Alicia's throat tightens. I don't know how to do that. Me neither. But we'll learn. They stand in the cold parking lot while the warehouse lights flicker behind them. I have $400 saved, Alicia says finally. Emergency fund. It's supposed to be for if I get fired or sick or... No. Let me finish. $400. It's not enough for your PT, but it's a start. I'm not taking your emergency fund. And I'm not watching you destroy yourself when I can help. She steps closer. You gave me gloves when I was too proud to admit I was cold. This is me giving you gloves. It's not the same. It's exactly the same. Except harder. Because money means survival, and I'm scared to death to let it go. But I'm more scared of losing you because you're too stubborn to let me help. Junho stares at her. Alicia, we're in this together, right? That's what you said. So let me be in it. For a long moment, neither speaks. Then Junho says, very quietly, my uncle offered to pay. For the PT. For everything. Alicia's heart sinks. Oh. On the condition that I meet Sunmi, the girl from church, and give her a real chance. He laughs without humor. He's not subtle. He wants me to date her, marry her, follow the path he thinks is right. So take it. What? Take his money. Get the PT. You need it. Not if it means... I'm not asking you to choose between your health and me. Alicia's voice shakes. That's not fair. If your uncle can help, let him. And Sunmi? Meet her. Be polite. Let him think you're considering it, but we'll know the truth. Junho is quiet for a long time. Then, I don't want to lie to him. Then tell him you're seeing someone. See what he says. He won't approve. I know. It'll cause problems. Family problems. I know that too. And you're okay with that? Alicia takes a shaky breath. I'm not okay with any of this. I'm terrified. But I'd rather be terrified with you than safe without you. So yeah. Tell him. Junho pulls her into a hug. It's the first time they've really touched. Not accidental brushing hands, but intentional closeness. His good arm wraps around her, and she buries her face in his shoulder, feeling him shake slightly. I'll tell him, he whispers. Tomorrow. Okay. This might get messy. Probably. But you'll stay? As long as you'll have me. They stand there in the parking lot until the cold forces them apart. When Alicia drives home, she's wearing the gloves and crying, partly from fear, partly from relief that for the first time in her life, she's not facing impossible choices completely alone. Shh! Alicia doesn't mean to eavesdrop. She's in the warehouse bathroom Friday afternoon when she hears voices outside. Junho and his uncle, just outside the door. "You're not thinking clearly." The uncle's voice is sharp. "Uncle, Your father died 4 months ago. You're still grieving. This has nothing to do with Dad. Everything is related to him." The uncle's voice rises, then drops to something more controlled. "He wanted stability for you. A good life. That girl, she works in a warehouse. She has no education, no prospects, no family. Don't talk about her like that." Junho's voice is steel. "I'm trying to help you. Sunmi is educated from a good family. She understands our culture, our values. She's not Alicia." A long pause, then quieter. "You're making a mistake. Maybe, but it's my mistake to make. You're throwing away your future. I'm choosing my future. There's a difference." Footsteps. The uncle leaving. Alicia hears Junho lean against the wall outside the bathroom, exhale shakily. She should make noise, announce her presence. Instead, she stays frozen, heart pounding, replaying every word. No education, no prospects, no family. Every fear she's carried about not being enough, laid out in clinical detail by someone who's never met her. She waits 5 minutes, 10, until she's sure both men are gone. Then she slips out and goes straight to Mrs. Kim's office. "I need to request a schedule change," she says, voice steady, professional. Mrs. Kim looks up. "What kind of change?" "Different shift. Morning rotation. I can't work afternoons anymore. That'll put you and Junho on opposite schedules." "I know." Mrs. Kim studies her. "Want to tell me why?" "Personal reasons." "Uh-huh." Mrs. Kim sets down her pen. "You were in the bathroom when his uncle was here." "It's not a question." "I didn't mean to." "But you heard." Alicia nods mutely. Mrs. Kim sighs. "Sit down." "Mrs. Kim, I don't need—" "Sit." Alicia sits. "I've worked here 18 years, Mrs. Kim says. "I've seen a lot of people come through. Most don't last 6 months. The work is hard, the pay is bad, the hours are worse. But some people, rare people, they come in and they work with dignity, with purpose. You're one of those people." Alicia doesn't speak. "So, when some man in an expensive suit tells me you have no prospects, that pisses me off." Mrs. Kim leans forward. "You're 27 years old, supporting your mother, helping your brother, working doubles without complaint. You show up early, stay late, never call in sick. You're reliable, hardworking, and kind even when you're exhausted. Those are prospects. Those are values." His uncle doesn't see it that way. His uncle's wrong. He's family. "So? Family can be wrong." Mrs. Kim's voice softens. "You know what I see when I watch you and Junho? 2 people who found something real in a world that usually only offers tired and underpaid. That's not nothing. That's actually pretty rare." Alicia's eyes burn. But what if he's right? What if I'm holding Junho back from something better? Better than someone who sees him? Who understands his struggles because she's fighting her own? Who makes him smile for the first time since his father died? Mrs. Kim shakes her head. That uncle wants easy, traditional, uncomplicated. But love isn't any of those things. Love is showing up. And from what I've seen, you and that boy show up for each other every day. So I shouldn't change shifts? I'm not telling you what to do. But I am saying don't run because some man who doesn't know you decided you're not good enough. Run if your heart says it's wrong. But don't run because you're scared someone else won't approve. Alicia sits there trying not to cry. Bathroom walls are thin, Mrs. Kim adds casually. Junho probably knows you heard, which means you two need to actually talk, like adults. I hate talking. I know. Do it anyway. Alicia finds Junho in the parking lot at the end of shift. He's sitting in his car, engine off, staring at nothing. She knocks on the window. He jumps, then unlocks the door. She slides into the passenger seat. I heard, she says. He closes his eyes. I thought you might have. Your uncle thinks I'm trash. He doesn't know you. He knows enough. She stares at her hands, still wearing the gloves. He knows I'm not what he wants for you. I don't care what he wants. You should. He's family. So are you. Junho turns to face her. Maybe not legally. Maybe not in the way he understands. But you're the person I call when something good happens. You're who I want to tell about my day. You're the one I think about when I wake up. That makes you family. Alicia's breath catches. Junho. I know it's fast. I know it's complicated. But I'm not giving you up because my uncle has outdated ideas about who I should be with. It'll cause problems. Let it. He might stop helping with the medical bills. Then I'll figure something else out. You need that PT. And I need you. His voice is fierce now. I need someone who understands why I show up at 5 a.m. Someone who knows what it's like to carry weight alone. Someone who makes this exhausting life feel less heavy. I need you, Alicia. And no amount of family pressure is going to change that. She kisses him. It's impulsive and messy, and her nose bumps his cheek, and it's perfect. His good arm comes around her, pulling her closer, and for 30 seconds the world is just them and this moment, and the choice to choose each other anyway. When they break apart, both are breathing hard. Okay, Alicia whispers. Okay. We try. Together? Together. They sit in his car until the parking lot empties, holding hands, figuring out what it means to choose each other when the world says they shouldn't. 3 weeks later, Junho starts physical therapy. His uncle pays, grudgingly, after Junho makes it clear he's not meeting Sunmi. Not now. Not ever. The conversation is tense. The uncle stops calling for a while. Junho pretends it doesn't hurt, but Alicia sees him check his phone sometimes, hoping. He'll come around, she says one evening as they share takeout in his car during break. Maybe. Maybe not. Junho shrugs with his good shoulder. The bad one is slowly improving. I can't control what he does. I can only control what I do. That's very mature. Carlos has been coaching me. Carlos? He said, and I quote, "Kid, you can't make everyone happy. Pick the people who matter and disappoint the rest." Junho grins. He's surprisingly wise for someone who's been divorced twice. 3 times. Third one's still pending. They laugh. It feels good. Normal. Like maybe they're building something sustainable. Alicia's mother has a good day. Not many lately, but this one counts. She recognizes Alicia for a full 10 minutes, asks about work, comments that she looks happy. I am, Alicia admits. I met someone. Her mother smiles. Good. You deserve good things, baby. It's the last clear thing she says before the fog rolls back in, but Alicia holds onto it like a lifeline. Marcus calls that night. The facility said Mom had a good day. She did. You sound different. Different how? Less tired, less like you're drowning. A pause. You seeing someone? Maybe. Alicia Brooks, are you being coy? Shut up. What's his name? Junho. We work together. And nothing. We're taking it slow. That's good. You deserve slow. You deserve good. Marcus echoes their mother's words. I'm proud of you, sis. Alicia's throat tightens. Thanks, Mark. Bring him to dinner sometime. I want to meet the guy who finally got through your walls. We'll see. But she's smiling when she hangs up. And when Junho texts asking how her visit went, she tells him about her brother's invitation. He responds immediately. I'd love to meet him. Small steps. Building something real. Carlos corners them both during lunch break 3 weeks into their official relationship. So, he says, sitting down with his thermos and a knowing grin. You two figure it out yet? Figure what out? Alicia asks. That you're gone for each other. Junho nearly chokes on his sandwich. Alicia suddenly finds her coffee fascinating. I'll take that as a yes. Carlos chuckles. About time. Watching you two dance around each other was painful. We weren't dancing. Alicia starts. You were absolutely dancing. The whole warehouse knew before you did. He points at Mrs. Kim, who's reviewing clipboards in her office. She's been running a betting pool on when you'd finally kiss. She what? Oh yeah, I had money on week 3. Lost to Jenkins and receiving who said week 4. He won $50. Junho and Alicia exchange horrified looks. Relax, Carlos says. Everyone's happy for you. Well, except maybe that one customer who keeps asking if you're single. He's gonna be devastated. There's no customer. Alicia stops. Wait, the guy who always comes in on Wednesdays? That's the one. Oh my God. Anyway, Carlos turns serious. Real talk for a second. You two are good together. I've seen a lot of relationships, mostly my own crashing and burning, and I know the difference between infatuation and actual partnership. You've got the second one. How can you tell? Junho asks quietly. Because you show up for each other without keeping score. He brings you coffee. You help with his shoulder. He works late so you're not alone. You cover his shift when the pain's bad. That's not romance novel stuff. That's the real deal. That's what lasts. Alicia swallows hard. Thanks, Carlos. Don't thank me. Just don't screw it up. He stands, stretches. And when you two inevitably get married, I expect an invitation. I look great in a suit. He walks away, leaving them speechless. Marriage? Alicia manages. He's getting ahead of himself, Junho says quickly. Way ahead. Absolutely. They look at each other. Both start smiling. Although, Junho says carefully, if we ever got there, hypothetically, you'd probably look incredible in a wedding dress. Alicia kicks him under the table, but she's blushing. Nafurshan. It happens on a Tuesday. Alicia's at the counter processing international shipments when her phone rings. Unknown number. She almost doesn't answer, but something makes her pick up. Is this Alicia Brooks? Yes? This is Riverside Care Facility. Your mother had an incident this morning. Alicia's world stops. What kind of incident? She fell. We called an ambulance. She's at Memorial Hospital now. The rest of the conversation is white noise. Fractured hip. Emergency surgery. Stable but serious. She hangs up. Stares at nothing. Mrs. Kim appears. What happened? My mom. She fell. I have to go. Go. Now. Don't worry about your shift. Alicia grabs her bag, moves on autopilot toward the door. Junho intercepts her in the parking lot. I'm driving you, he says. You have work. Mrs. Kim already cleared it. I'm driving you. She doesn't have the energy to argue. The hospital is 40 minutes away. Alicia sits rigid in the passenger seat, staring out the window, mind racing through worst-case scenarios. She'll be okay. Junho says quietly. You don't know that. No, but I know she's strong. Like you. Alicia can't respond. Can't fall apart. Not yet. Marcus meets them in the waiting room. He looks exhausted. They just took her to surgery. What happened? She got confused. Thought she needed to leave. Tried to climb out of bed and fell. His voice cracks. They said the hip's badly fractured. She'll need months of recovery. And she can't go back to Riverside. What do you mean she can't go back? They're not equipped for post-surgical care. We need a skilled nursing facility, which costs... He hands her a paper with estimates. Alicia reads the numbers. Her vision blurs. It's twice what they're paying now. Impossible. Completely impossible. We'll figure it out, she whispers. How? We're already drowning. I'll pick up more shifts. You're already working 16-hour days. Then I'll find something else. Her voice rises. Several people look over. She lowers it. I'll figure it out, Marcus. I always do. You can't fix everything, Alicia. Watch me. She stands abruptly, walks to the hallway before she breaks down completely. Junho follows, finds her leaning against the wall, breathing hard, fighting tears. Hey, he says softly. Hey, it's okay. It's not okay. Her voice shakes. Nothing is okay. I can't afford this. I can't save her. I can't fix any of it. You don't have to fix it alone. I don't have a choice. Yes, you do. He steps closer. You have me. You have Marcus. You have people who want to help. Help how? With what money? We're all broke, Junho. We're all drowning. There's no help coming. Then we'll figure something out. Together. Stop saying that. She's crying now, angry tears. Stop acting like love fixes everything. It doesn't. It doesn't pay medical bills or magically make this better. It just makes it hurt more because I'm not drowning alone anymore. And that somehow feels worse. Junho absorbs this. Quiet. Then, you're right. Alicia blinks. What? You're right. Love doesn't fix anything practical. It doesn't pay bills. It doesn't make your mother's hip heal faster. It doesn't solve any of the actual problems. He pauses. But it means when you're standing in a hospital hallway falling apart, you don't have to do it alone. And maybe that doesn't fix anything, but maybe it helps you survive long enough to find solutions. She stares at him through tears. I can't make this better, Junho continues. I wish I could, but I can stand here with you. I can drive you home. I can make sure you eat something. I can take tomorrow's shift so you can be with your mom. I can do small things, and maybe small things aren't enough, but they're what I have. Alicia breaks, fully breaks, sinks down the wall, sobbing, all the exhaustion and fear and weight of years crashing down at once. Junho slides down next to her, wraps his good arm around her shoulders, lets her cry. They sit there for 20 minutes. Nurses pass. Doctors pass. No one bothers them. Eventually, Alicia's tears slow. She wipes her face on her sleeve. I'm sorry. Don't be. I'm a mess. You're human. I don't know how to do this. Any of this. None of us do. We just keep trying. Marcus appears at the end of the hallway. She's out of surgery. Doctor wants to talk to us. Alicia stands. Junho stands with her. You don't have to come, she tells him. I know, but I'm going to anyway. They face the doctor together. The news is cautiously optimistic. Surgery went well. Recovery will be long. The facility discussion can wait until she's stable. It's not a solution, but it's not the worst-case scenario either. And for today, that's enough. Checked. Junho starts researching skilled nursing facilities that night. He doesn't tell Alicia. She has enough on her plate, but he makes spreadsheets, compares costs, calls places asking about payment plans, financial aid, anything that might help. Most are dead ends. But 3 facilities offer sliding scale rates based on income. He writes down every detail. He also does something else. He calls his uncle. The conversation is awkward, tense. They haven't spoken since the parking lot argument. I need to ask you something, Junho says. And I know we're not in a good place, but this isn't about me. His uncle listens to the situation. Alicia's mother, the medical bills, the impossible numbers. There's a long silence. Then, how much do they need? Junho tells him. Another silence. That's not a small amount. I know. I'm not asking you to pay it. I'm asking if you know anyone who might help. Any community resources, church programs, anything. Why would I help her? Because she's important to me. And because it's the right thing to do. His uncle sighs. You're not going to stop seeing this girl. No. Even if I disapprove. Even then. You're stubborn, like your father. It's the first time his uncle has mentioned his father without criticism. Junho's throat tightens. I learned from the best. He'd be proud of you, his uncle says quietly. Foolish, but proud. It's not approval, but it's not rejection either. I'll make some calls, his uncle continues. The Korean Community Center has an emergency fund. I sit on the board. I can't promise anything, but I'll try. Thank you. Don't thank me yet, and bring her to dinner. If she's this important to you, I should meet her properly. She might not want to. Then convince her. If you're going to be difficult about this relationship, I might as well know who I'm being difficult about. It's the closest thing to blessing Junho's going to get. He takes it. 3 days later, the Korean Community Center approves a grant, $5,000 toward medical expenses. It's not everything, but it's enough to cover the first 3 months at a better facility. Junho tells Alicia at the warehouse during break. She stares at him. Your uncle did this? The community center did. He helped push it through. Why? Because I asked, and because maybe he's trying. Alicia sits down heavily. I don't know what to say. Say you'll come to dinner? He wants to meet you properly. I'm terrified. Me too. But we'll do it together. What if he hates me? Then he'll hate you and we'll deal with it. But at least you'll have tried. And you'll have eaten some really good Korean food in the process. She laughs shakily. Okay, I'll go. Yeah? Yeah, but you're holding my hand the whole time. Deal. They sit together in the break room, hands intertwined, both scared and hopeful about what comes next. The dinner is scheduled for Sunday evening. Alicia changes outfits 4 times, settles on simple black pants and a blue blouse. Professional but not trying too hard. She stares at herself in the mirror and tries to remember how to breathe. Junho picks her up at 6. He looks nervous too, which somehow helps. Ready? He asks. Absolutely not. Me neither. Let's go. His uncle's house is modest but impeccably maintained. They're greeted at the door by an older Korean woman. His aunt, Junho explains. She smiles warmly, ushers them inside. The uncle is waiting in the living room. He stands when they enter, assessing Alicia with sharp eyes. Uncle, this is Alicia Brooks. Alicia, this is my uncle. Thank you for the invitation, Alicia says, extending her hand. And thank you for your help with the community center grant. It means more than I can say. He shakes her hand briefly. Sit. Dinner will be ready soon. The meal is elaborate. Bulgogi, japchae, kimchi, banchan, covering every inch of the table. Junho's aunt keeps serving food, insisting Alicia eat more. The conversation starts formal. Careful questions about work, family, background. Alicia answers honestly. Her mother's illness. Her brother in community college. The warehouse job she's held for 3 years. Why logistics? The uncle asks. It was hiring. I needed work with consistent hours and decent pay. It's not glamorous, but it's stable. And your plans? Long term? I'm saving for a supply chain certification. It'll qualify me for management positions. Better pay, better hours. She pauses. It'll take time. My mother's care comes first. But I'm working toward it. He nods slowly. Junho says you work very hard. We all do what we have to. Some people give up. You haven't. Giving up isn't an option. Too many people depend on me. The uncle exchanges a look with his wife. Some unspoken communication passes between them. My brother, Junho's father, was like that, he says finally. Stubborn, determined, worked himself to the bone for his family. His expression softens. He died too young because he wouldn't slow down. Wouldn't ask for help. I'm sorry, Alicia says quietly. When Junho told me about you, I was worried. I thought you'd be another burden. Someone who'd drain him while he's still recovering from loss. He looks directly at her. I was wrong. Alicia blinks. I've watched him since he started seeing you. He smiles again. He takes care of his shoulder, He talks about the future instead of just surviving day to day. The uncle's voice roughens. You've given him something to hope for. That matters. Junho's hand finds Alicia's under the table. She squeezes back, hard. I still think you're both struggling too hard, the uncle continues. Both working jobs that are destroying your bodies. Both carrying too much alone. But I understand now. You're carrying it together. And that's different. I love him, Alicia says. It's the first time she said it out loud. I know we haven't known each other long. I know this looks fast. But I love him. And I'm not here to take advantage. I'm here because being with him makes the hard things feel possible. The room goes quiet. Junho stares at her, eyes wide. Well, his aunt says brightly, breaking the tension. Who wants dessert? The rest of dinner passes in lighter conversation. By the time they leave, his uncle shakes Alicia's hand with something approaching warmth. Take care of him, he says. I will, if he'll take care of me too. I think he will. In the car, Junho is quiet for several blocks. Then, you love me? I said that, didn't I? In front of my uncle, who you were terrified of. Seemed like a good time to go big. Alicia, I meant it, every word. He pulls over into a parking lot, puts the car in park, turns to face her fully. I love you too, he says. I have for weeks. Maybe since the gloves. Definitely since the midnight shift when you put them on for the first time. I was just scared to say it. Why? Because everyone I love leaves, dies or drifts away. And I thought if I said it out loud, I'd lose you too. Alicia cups his face in her hands. I'm not going anywhere. We're stuck with each other now. Promise? Promise. They kiss in the parking lot like teenagers, grinning against each other's mouths, giddy with relief and declaration, and the terrifying joy of being seen and choosing to stay anyway. Spring arrives slowly. Alicia's mother stabilizes at the new facility. The grant covers 3 months. After that, Alicia, Marcus, and Junho's uncle work out a payment plan that's manageable. Barely, but manageable. Junho's shoulder improves with PT. He'll never lift heavy loads again without pain, but he can work. He transfers to the dispatch desk. Less physical, same pay. Mrs. Kim approves it immediately. Alicia starts her certification course. Night classes, online modules, exhausting but exciting. Junho quizzes her during breaks, celebrates every past exam. They move in together in April. A tiny apartment that's not much, but it's theirs. Marcus helps them move, teasing them the entire time. Carlos brings beer and unsolicited relationship advice. Mrs. Kim gives them a housewarming gift, a coffee maker and a note that says, "So you stop stealing the warehouse coffee. Life isn't perfect. Money is still tight. Alicia's mother has bad days." Junho's shoulder flares up. They argue about bills and whose turn it is to do dishes and whether they can afford takeout. But they also have breakfast together, and shared Netflix shows, and a blue ceramic bowl they picked out together for fruit they always forget to eat. Junho keeps a new pair of gloves in his car, just in case. Alicia wears her grandmother's gold ring and thinks about legacies, about strong women who carry weight. But she's learning that strength doesn't mean carrying alone. 6 months after the first pair of gloves appeared on her keyboard, Mrs. Kim catches them in the parking lot during shift change. "So," she says casually, "Jenkins just quit. I need someone for his supervisor position." "Yeah?" Alicia says. "Who are you thinking?" Mrs. Kim looks at her pointedly. "Me? You've got the certification. You've got the experience. You've got the work ethic. Pays $12 more an hour. Interested?" Alicia's heart stops. "Are you serious? Do I joke?" "No. Never. You're terrifying." "Damn right. So, you want it?" Yes, absolutely yes." Mrs. Kim nods. "Good. Start in 2 weeks. And try not to cry. You'll ruin your reputation." She walks away. Alicia stands there in shock. Junho sweeps her into a hug, spinning her despite his shoulder. You did it. We did it, she corrects. I couldn't have finished the course without you. You absolutely could have. Maybe, but I wouldn't have wanted to. They celebrate at the same diner where they had their first dinner. Same booth, same overpriced burgers. But this time it's different. This time they're celebrating instead of hoping. Hey, Junho says as they're leaving. Want to do something crazy? How crazy? He pulls out a small box. Alicia's heart stops. Junho, it's not what you think. Open it. Inside are car keys. I don't understand. My uncle's selling his old Hyundai. He gave me first offer. It needs work, but it runs. And it means you don't have to take the bus to night classes anymore. Alicia stares at the keys. I can't afford... He's giving us a payment plan. $20 a month until it's paid off. Took me a week to convince him, but he agreed. Why would he do that? Because you're family now, and family helps family. She kisses him right there on the sidewalk, ignoring the amused looks from passers-by. Thank you, she whispers against his mouth. Thank you, he replies, for letting me stay. For wearing the gloves. For being brave enough to try. We both were brave. Yeah, we were. They drive home in their beat-up Hyundai, windows down, spring air rushing through, talking about nothing and everything, planning grocery lists and dreaming about vacations they can't afford yet, but someday might. And when they pull into their apartment complex, hands intertwined over the console, Alicia realizes something. She's not afraid of needing anymore. Not when need looks like this. Reciprocal, respectful, real. 1 year later, Alicia arrives at the warehouse at 5:30 a.m. as usual. Supervisor badge clipped to her shirt, coffee from the good place in hand, a luxury she can finally afford. The warehouse is quiet, cold, early morning settling over everything like a blanket. Junho is already at the dispatch desk, updating routes on the computer. He glances up when she enters, smiles that small private smile that's just for her. You're here early, she says. So are you. Old habits. Good habits. She sets down her coffee, walks over, leans against his desk. He reaches up, takes her hand. She's wearing the gloves, the original ones, worn soft now from a year of use. Cold? He asks. A little. But I came prepared this time. Good. They sit in comfortable silence while the warehouse wakes around them. Mrs. Kim arrives, waves, disappears into her office. Carlos pulls up in his delivery truck, shouts something inappropriate through the window that makes them both laugh. Life isn't perfect. Alicia's mother has more bad days than good now. Junho's uncle is still learning to accept them. Money is still tight. Work is still hard. But every morning, Alicia wakes up next to someone who sees her, really sees her, who noticed her cold hands and decided she mattered enough to do something about it. And every morning, Junho wakes up next to someone who taught him that accepting care isn't weakness, that being seen doesn't mean being judged, that love looks like attention, repeated daily until it becomes language. Hey, Alicia says softly. Yeah? I love you. I know. He grins. You tell me every morning. Doesn't make it less true. Good. Because I love you too. Every morning. And every night. And all the exhausting hours in between. She kisses the top of his head. We should probably start working. Probably. Neither moves. Because this quiet moment before the chaos starts, this is what they fought for. What they chose. What they built from a pair of gloves, and the courage to believe that being seen could be safe. Outside, the sun rises over the warehouse. Inside, two people who learn to carry weight together face another day. Not perfect, not easy, but together. And when Alicia finally pulls on her gloves to start the day's work, they fit like they always have. Like coming home, like being known, like love that started with attention and grew into something that lasts. Because in the end, True love isn't about grand gestures or perfect moments. It's about noticing someone's cold hands and bringing gloves like it's nothing, even when it's everything. If this story reminded you that being seen isn't weakness, that accepting care takes courage, and that love lives in the smallest repeated gestures, share it with someone who needs to hear it, because we all deserve someone who notices when our hands are cold. Subscribe so we can write more stories like this, about real people, real struggles, and the quiet ways we save each other without even realizing it.